All right, let's take a few minutes to talk about menstruation and dissociative identity disorder. So let's talk about menstruation first. So when I was in high school, I was hanging out with this girl. We had kind of hooked up, like made out, kissed a few times, but we hadn't done anything more than that. I had a friend of mine who was hanging out with her friend, so it was kind of a double date kind of thing like that. And the girl I was hanging out with then said to me that she wanted to have sex but could not because she was bleeding from her vagina. And I, not thinking about menstruation, thought she needed to go to the hospital. So I'm literally, we should take you to the hospital then if you're, bleeding from your vagina. And she keeps on like, no, I'm okay. Like, it happens sometimes. And I'm like, what do you mean it happens sometimes? That's intense. You should go to a hospital. So anyway, here's the, how does that relate to dissociative identity disorder? I have told that story to the mother of my child, who is diagnosed or was diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, which is also known as multiple personality disorder. What has happened is, that happened years ago. I just didn't take her seriously, didn't think dissociative identity disorder was serious. I've been kind of going back and forth on it. Had just gotten to the point where I thought, oh, it's all fake, it doesn't matter. There's other more important things, whether or not she actually has dissociative identity disorder or not. And then I came across a post of this person, Lauren J. Nicole, and it changed everything because it's the only post I've seen of anyone who claims to have multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder that is even anywhat similar to the mother of my child. And so literally for the last 4 days, everything has been completely different. Literally, it's like my life was completely changed just from seeing this post by that person. Because even if the mother of my child is faking it, even if she doesn't have dissociative identity disorder, and even if this person, Lauren J. Nicole, is faking it, because they're actually sharing the same kind of characteristics and things that I experienced, then if they're faking it, they're getting the information from the same place. If they're being real, they both have the same. They both are the same. They have similar qualities. So anyway, how that story is related to dissociative identity disorder is I told the mother of my child that story, and not once did she say, she never laughed, nothing. Did she even try to imply that maybe the girl was on her period, and maybe that's why what happened. And as it relates very scientifically to dissociative identity disorder, it's a pattern of when we were having certain discussions about certain things, where it almost can seem as if she was a different personality. I'm not sure that one way or the other, but it does kind of, when I look back on it, it does seem that way. And one of the reasons is I can't, knowing the mother of my child and knowing what she knows and how our relationship was, it feels very it feels very odd that she didn't say like, yo, Charlie, that probably happened because she was on her period and she just didn't want to tell you she was on her period. So yeah, that's just that. I wanted to let that out because it's just one of the things I just thought about, and this is difficult. It's really, really difficult in the sense of I had thought I knew how I felt about dissociative identity disorder and multiple personality disorder, and whether the importance it had as to whether or not the mother of my child actually had it or not, if it was really real or not. And seeing Lauren J. Nicole's post really just completely up through my life. It used to be that pretty much almost anything that I was doing, literally almost all day long, it would come down to, well, who knows one way or the other if dissociative identity disorder is real, and if it's not real, then it's all, why don't think about it, right? You know what I mean? But like I said, now it's a different thing because whether it be just the fact that, hey, wait a second, this person, Lauren J. Nicole, acts just like the mother of my child. There's many people who are interested in it. So that means it is kind of weird for me and anybody else not to be. Or it's, hey, if she's faking it, then she's faking it the same exact way Lauren J. Nicole is, which is kind of weird. Or if she's telling the truth, it's, she tells, they have similar qualities into how they speak and interact in their stories. So, there's that. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to get that out real quick. Because yesterday I did not stick to my trying to take some amount of time to address dissociative identity disorder every day as if it does exist. Because as far as I can tell, it does.